In Seattle, a news helicopter crashes near the iconic Space Needle, and we learned it's a chopper that spent many years flying over Boston.
Well, spring is coming, and so is some milder air, but also a little bit of fresh snow. We'll let you know where some will stand on the ground by Thursday morning.
The cold weather is ruffling some feathers. Duck boats stranded on dry ground for the first time ever, when they'll finally make a big splash in the Charles.
And sticked with a big bill, the huge construction project that will take homeowners decades to pay off.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
2 people killed, a third severely injured after a news helicopter crashed. As you can see here, it burst into flames. That helicopter was taking off from a helipad at KOMO-TV in Seattle. I'm Bobby Sisk, in for Jonathan.
And I'm Paula Evan. This is a helicopter which flew over Boston for years. We've just learned new information about the victims. Kate Merrill is here with that tonight. Kate?
Paula, this whole thing happened this morning during rush hour. The chopper had just taken off from the ABC station roof helipad when it went down. It landed on cars below, killing the pilot and a veteran news photographer, and seriously injuring a man on the ground. Moments after the helicopter went down, home video shows the fiery scene in Seattle. It happened just before 8 a.m. near the Space Needle, sending smoke all over the city during the morning rush hour.
Bigger than a boom. It was really tragic, like an Armageddon.
Oh my God.
People in the area watched as the KOMO-TV news helicopter struggled to stay in the air.
When it went to take back off, the side of the helicopter changed kind of drastically, and I looked, and the helicopter was almost immediately pitched sideways and off balance, and he kind of just nose dove over the trees and clipped the top of the trees and crashed just on the other side of the street there.
It crashed onto a street below and onto a car with a man inside.
By the time all the smoke and everything came up, I could barely see the guy getting out of his car on fire. Literally on fire, burning.
Emergency crews first on the scene weren't even sure what they were dealing with.
When they got here on scene, it was such a heavy cloud of black smoke. We didn't really know what we had until once we were able to get some water on there and see that there was a helicopter in there.
2 people inside the helicopter were killed, now identified as the pilot and a veteran news photographer. The news station says the copter was taking off from its rooftop helipad when it went down. A surreal scene that people on the street didn't even believe was happening.
By that point, it's did I see what I think I saw? It wasn't real.
Again, this happened in Seattle. There were dozens of witnesses to this morning's helicopter crash. Now, KOMO-TV is located right across the street from the Space Needle here. In fact, on this day, Bing satellite image that they took this photo, the helicopter was actually on the pad. You can see it right here. The man injured in the car suffered burns over 20% of his body. A woman in another car was able to walk away. The city is now investigating the safety of all the helipads in the area. Paula, back to you.
Kate Merrill, thank you. Now, the helicopter, which crashed in Seattle today, was in Boston as recently as last year. The FAA confirmed the tail number matches the one on the chopper that WBZ-TV shared with WFXT. It was used in Boston for 10 years before it went to Detroit, where it was supposed to be used as a backup. This helicopter, a Eurocopter AS-350, was being used in Seattle while the station's regular helicopter was in the shop.
It is so badly to hear that today. Well, good news and bad news about our forecast in the coming days.
We do have a warm-up on the way, which is the good news, but so is some snow. Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is here tonight with that. Eric?
Hi there, Paula, Bobby. Good evening, everybody. We're watching our next system, which is this one, brings snow across Minnesota and Wisconsin. Some parts there we'll see up to a foot, so not expect anything like that around here. I guess we're getting off lucky in that regard. Clear skies for tonight. In the interim, it'll be another chilly evening around the area. Well, the 30s felt pretty good outside today. We're sitting at the freezing mark in Boston. A balmy 40 degrees in Taunton this evening. Most towns back in the teens and 20s overnight tonight. Clear, calm, and just cold as we wake up tomorrow morning. We will track that next system moving in during the day tomorrow. We'll start off with sunshine. The clouds will increase in the afternoon. And then after the commute, we'll be watching this rain and some snow moving in, especially northern Massachusetts into parts of northern New England. We'll talk about how much snow we expect with that, and we'll see the warmest day this week coming up in just a little bit. Bobby? All right, Eric, thank you. A Dorchester man accused of trying to set fire to a Masonic lodge faced a judge today. A judge ordered 31-year-old Kevin Jones sent to Bridgewater State Hospital for a mental health evaluation. Prosecutors charged him with trying to burn a place of worship. Investigators say last night he poured some sort of liquid on the furniture inside the Boston Lodge and then tried to light it on fire. A security guard saw what happened and held Jones until police arrived. An elderly driver loses control of her car and plows through a fence, then slams into parked cars at a local high school. Now, fortunately, no one was in those cars and no students were hurt.
The police are still trying to figure out why the car careened out of control. But as Ken McLeod shows us, several teachers got an unpleasant surprise.
90 degrees and got smashed up against this car.
Math teacher Dawn DeBlennis recounted the mess she found this morning after an elderly driver plowed into her shiny new wheels.
It's a brand new car. I just got it last week and it only has like 800 miles on it. It's brand new.
Hers was one of 8 cars damaged when an 85-year-old woman leaving this condo somehow lost control of her Chevy Malibu. The car bolted across the street, jumped the curb, went through a fence, and rattled around a parking lot assigned to staffers at Melrose High School. Thank goodness it was just after 9 and everyone was already inside for MCAS testing.
If this was at 7:30 in the morning, 100 kids would have been walking down that street. And teachers would have been getting in and out of their cars.
To give you some idea of how fast the runaway car was going, it caved in the rear of this Hyundai and then knocked it into other parked cars, kind of like a billiard ball. As you can see, it caved in the front end as well. This thing is totaled. Some rescuers say she must have been going at least 40 and seemed coherent when pried from the mangled scrum.
I don't know, maybe she hit the gas instead of the brake. I'm not sure. But, seemed okay.
Police say they're still not sure if the mishap is medical, mechanical, or simply driver error, but are leaning toward the latter. No one actually witnessed the accident itself.
When they told me my car was hit, I go, from what? What would hit my car? I'm in a lot.
Even when the cause is pinned down, police say charges are unlikely. Meantime, a handful of teachers will be carpooling for a while and trying to shake that image of their new car all banged up.
You can't explain it. You just had to see it.
Fortunately, Dawn's car is among the fixable. In Melrose, Ken McLeod, WBZ News.
The 85-year-old driver was checked out at the hospital. Police have not yet released her name.
Women in the North End are on edge tonight after reports of another sexual assault. Sunday's attack happened near Salem and Hall Streets. The victim told police that a man followed her into the foyer of her apartment building and then attacked her. Now, this is just a block away from a similar assault last month. Police arrested a man in that case and say that he is not connected to this incident.
It's nerve-wracking. I feel like it should be a safe area, and I thought they caught him, and now it's someone else.
It's horrible, but I also think North End is a family neighborhood. It's a wonderful neighborhood.
The attacker in Sunday night's assault is a white man in his 30s, about 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, with short brown hair. If you have any information about this incident, you're asked to call Boston Police.
The U.S. is freezing all diplomatic ties with Syria. All personnel who are not legal U.S. residents have been ordered out of the country, and today's move came after the Syrian government was ordered to suspend its one consular service. The State Department spokesperson says the U.S. wants to continue diplomatic relations with Syria if President Assad steps down. The Crimea region of Ukraine is moving closer to becoming part of Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin just signed a controversial agreement in Moscow, and as Alfonso Benmar shows us, the U.S. is now threatening sanctions.
Cheers erupted in Russia's parliament as President Vladimir Putin welcomed what he called the reunification of Crimea with Russia. He said Crimea has always been and remains an inseparable part of Russia. As Putin signed a decree calling for the Ukrainian peninsula to be Russian territory, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden condemned the action during meetings with NATO allies in Poland.
Russia has offered a variety of arguments to justify what is nothing more than a land grab.
Ukraine's new prime minister says the conflict in Crimea has escalated from a political to a military crisis. A military spokesman says an attack on a base in Crimea Tuesday killed a Ukrainian soldier. The United States slapped sanctions on Russian and Ukrainian leaders after a vote to split from Ukraine. Putin says he had to intervene in Crimea to stop what he called a Western plot. Freedom is above all for Americans, but what about the free will of Crimeans, he asked. Vice President Biden says the world sees right through Russia's actions and is threatening more sanctions. Putin says more sanctions will be seen as an act of aggression and is promising Moscow will retaliate. Alfonso Van Marsh, CBS News.
President Obama has said the door to diplomacy is still open to Russia. He invited G7 leaders to a meeting in Europe next week to discuss further action on Ukraine.
Governor Patrick just signed a bill giving the state the power to borrow up to $177 million to improve the state's military bases. The money will be used to upgrade the runways at the Barnes Air National Guard Base and Westfield Barnes Regional Airport. It will also go toward energy and communications improvements at Hanscom Air Force Base. A big headache for commuters in Boston for the next 3 weekends. The Prue Tunnel westbound on the Mass Pike will close the next 3 Friday nights and stay closed until Monday morning. That will let construction crews work on the tunnel's ceiling. Westbound traffic will be diverted onto one lane in the opposite direction. If you can, you may want to avoid that area.
This will maintain some level of traffic east and west through the city on I-90, but will significantly reduce the traffic carrying capacity.
One more note, the Prue Tunnel isn't the only one closing. Starting around 10 o'clock tonight, there will be a drill inside the Sumner Tunnel from East Boston that should reopen around 3 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Well, busy day. First round games for the NCAA basketball tournament start tonight in Dayton, Ohio.
Boston College hasn't been to the Big Dance since 2009, and today the school decided to make a big coaching change. Steve Burton's here with more on this tonight. Steve.
You sort of figured this was coming. Sure, especially with the struggles BC's had over the years. Steve Donahue came to Boston College 4 years ago after having a solid run at Cornell. But aside from upsetting the undefeated Syracuse this year, he was never really able to get things going at BC. And now he's going. BC Athletic Director Brad Bates told Donahue the news today. The Eagles were just 8-24 this year and had a 54-76 record in Donahue's 4 seasons at the Heights. As you can imagine, the school will begin a search for his replacement immediately.
In the next 24 hours, we're going to begin a needs assessment for our program. And out of that, we'll have a profile of the type of coach we're looking for. There are a lot of great coaches out there. Not every great coach is a great fit for every school, particularly BC. And so we need to identify a profile of the specific coaches that can really lead us at this moment in time.
You know, it was just last Friday when reports started to surface that Donahue would be back next season, but sure enough, the school decided it was time for a change. And they certainly made one.
All kinds of names going to start to surface.
Oh, yeah. People, you know, people want this job. Put BC back on the map when it comes to basketball. So, time will tell.
All right, Steve, thank you.
Thanks. Well, this is shocking. Home and business owners in Wayland with sewer bills they will have to take years to pay off. Coming up, why they've been told their bills are so high.
Plus, more focus on the pilot and co-pilot of that missing Malaysian airliner. What investigators now say happened before that plane ever took off.
And a tourist tradition on hold. The impact our long winter is having on Boston's famous duck boats.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Gentle Dental. You should love your dentist. To find a location near you, visit gentledental.com.
Okay, show us what you got.
First of all eyes are going to be on Commonwealth Motor.
You need to make the cars pretty.
Graphs, numbers, statistic.
You're welcome. I just brightened your entire day.
There's a tanning bed here, and the cars can get tanned too.
So what do you think?
Now.
Yay!
We just need to make sure that everybody knows we're constantly checking the competition's prices to guarantee our best price possible every day.
And you always say,
shop us last, you'll love us.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Yep. Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know the ancient pyramids were actually a mistake?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
There's no shortcut to success. You have to climb. And with available trail-rated 4x4 capability, an available Uconnect Media Center, an incredible fuel economy, the sky's the limit. Go anywhere, in any weather. Get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Compass Latitude or Patriot Latitude for $149 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Teddy Bruschi here. Let's analyze this important play. Here's a patient scheduling an MRI at her doctor's office. The receptionist reaches for the same old folder, ready to send the patient to the same old hospital. But the patient says, wait, I want to go to Shields MRI. She knows that Shields offers a quality MRI that could save her up to $1,000 or more. Now that's a key defensive move. Why ever pay for an MRI? Choose to go where I go. Shields MRI.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Toyota is #1 in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you #1 with nationwide savings. Get a lowest ever #1 lease on an all-wheel drive Venza for just $178 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get a #1 Venza deal with 0 for 60. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck boats parked in dry dock. This wicked winter taking a real toll on Boston's tourism industry. Here we are in mid-March and temperatures are still below freezing, and to say most of us are sick of it would be an understatement.
I probably agree with that. Well, as Bill Shields shows us tonight, just about everyone feels a warm-up is long overdue.
All cleaned up, but no place to go. Boston's famed duck boats are grounded, literally. The Charles River still has too much ice for them to operate.
It's infuriating. I can't believe there's still ice in the Charles River and we're almost at the end of March.
Is it just me, or does this winter seem really long? We're all still wearing wool hats with snowflakes on them. Our hoods are pulled up, and we're walking really quickly. Heck, it's even warmer in Ireland.
I'm not staying. I'm heading home.
Well, is it warmer in Ireland?
When I left, it was warm. When I left, it was warmer in Ireland, certainly.
No one expects it to be 80 degrees in March. But even the toughest pedicab drivers are housebound, and it takes a lot for them not to be on the streets.
Some of our drivers, guys and girls, can make it out and take the cold, and they go out when, I guess, the weather hits, a low of 29, 30.
Those are some tough riders.
They are tough. They're super tough.
And those infamous lines for duck boat tours? No problem right now. Take a seat. But this company, like many others, is losing business to this harsh winter.
It's that time of year. You never know what to expect, but we've never had a season this delayed, or delayed at all for that matter.
So they hope to get some of the duck boats out on Friday. Well, I hope they haven't looked at the long-range forecast for next week. Another Arctic blast. In Dorchester, I'm Bill Shields, WBZ News.
All right, Bill, thank you. Well, this is the first time in history early March duck tours on the boats there had to be canceled.
Nothing sadder than the duck boat sitting there in that dry dock. It's
Just
so cold.
sitting there waiting. No lines yet. Although I am encouraged that Bill watches the forecast. Clearly he's paying attention. He knows what's going on next week. Sure. All right, I mean, here and now, spring is trying. There are signs that it does want to happen, and this is one of them. Jude sent this one in from South Carver. Look at that. A few bulbs trying to peek out. Now, not everybody has soil visible right now. You've got snow in the backyard, but just as a sign that things will turn the corner eventually. However, in Worcester, pretty amazing stat here. Through today, it is the coldest March on record in Worcester. That goes back quite a ways. Now, we've got some time to go yet here before we get to the end of the month. It'll warm up for the next few days, so I think we'll fall out of first place. But as we head into next week and that cold blast that Bill was actually talking about, we might stay in that top spot. One to watch. Boston, by the way, is in 5th place right now. 32 degrees, the high temperature in Boston. Taunton, one of the warm spots at 42. Same story in Providence. These temps that are not very much even close to average actually felt pretty good with the sunshine and light winds today. There is a milder air. You can see almost exactly the heading of that. Southwesterly winds trying to push that in our direction. And so tomorrow will be a little bit milder than what we saw today. And that push of warmer air is ahead of this system. We see some rain and snow out across the upper Midwest. And that's moving toward us, and we'll see that by tomorrow evening. So here we time it all out. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We've got teens and 20s. It'll be a chilly start, but not quite as brutal as the last couple starts of the day. At 1 o'clock, we're dry, 30s to low 40s. And as we head past lunch, the clouds are going to thicken up. Certainly by evening commute time, I think it's overcast skies. And then we'll be watching some rain and some snow move in. So by 9 o'clock, there will be some snowfall, especially, I think, north of the Pike, some wet flakes mixing in. Doesn't look like a huge deal. You notice the temperatures. They're not below freezing. And as we head through the night, that rain line is going to push its way northward. So accumulations should not be a big part of that story. And all this should be heading out by the time we head toward Thursday morning and start the first day of spring. So snow totals, a coating to an inch or so. 1 to 3 as we move up into New Hampshire and Vermont and Maine. Not a major storm system. Then we head toward Thursday. Yes, it is the start of spring. It'll be gusty. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds. but it's also the warmest day of our forecast, so very appropriate in that nature. And as we head toward Friday, still gusty, but we've got a good amount of sunshine to end the week. So this is the best stretch of weather we have coming up, with highs around 40 tomorrow, 50s on Thursday, 40s on Friday, and then we begin that decline as we head into the weekend. There's also a couple more chances for some snow, and we'll talk about that coming up next half hour. Bobby, Paula, back to you.
Cold and snow. All right, Art, thanks very much. Well, it is shaping up to be a blockbuster Senate election in New Hampshire this year. Incumbent Jean Shaheen is now speaking out after Scott Brown announced he's a potential candidate. New Hampshire Bureau Chief Michael Rosenfield has the story from Manchester.
Senator Jean Shaheen.
U.S. Senator Jean Shaheen in Manchester speaking with high school students. In her suddenly high-profile re-election campaign, even a topic of discussion, asking Scott Brown to commit to limiting certain political ads in the race.
Those are funded by third-party groups from outside of the state of New Hampshire who are coming in, who are trying to influence what's going on in our race for the Senate.
Shaheen wants Brown to sign the People's Pledge, similar to what he supported in his failed race against Elizabeth Warren in Massachusetts.
As he said, he thought it was important for the citizens of Massachusetts. Well, if it was important for them, it's certainly important for the citizens of New Hampshire.
There's only one way to get rid of Obamacare once and for all. And that's to get rid of the Obama Democrats who rammed it through Congress and forced it on the American people.
Brown has made Obamacare a focus of his interest in running, but Shaheen says while fixes do need to be made, she has no regrets about her support.
We don't want to go back to a system that said you can be thrown off your health care if you get a serious illness, that says to kids, if you have a pre-existing condition, you can't get health insurance. That is not a system that's tenable.
Neil Levesque, who runs the New Hampshire Institute of Politics, says Brown's emergence shakes up what would have likely been a quiet race.
Certainly, Scott Brown, with a national reputation coming into the race, has changed the dynamic.
Levesque says with Brown likely running, this could turn into one of the most expensive elections in New Hampshire history, even outdoing a presidential primary here. In Manchester, New Hampshire, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
Using the new digital currency Bitcoin can be risky, and the state wants to make sure you know this. A Bitcoin ATM is at South Station now. It's been removed for maintenance. The machine does not dispense cash. Users can load Bitcoins into a virtual wallet. The Office of Consumer Affairs says the Bitcoin is not backed by any government, so they can suddenly lose value. And unlike cash, no one is required to accept Bitcoins.
You won't have to worry about Bitcoins or anything else for that matter. If you hit tonight's Mega Millions jackpot, it's worth $400 million. No one's won the jackpot since January 3rd. So the cash payout's about $224 million before taxes. And we will have the winning numbers for you on WBZ News at 11.
Okay, fellas, we should take a picture here. Like it or not, the word selfie is now a part of our vocabulary.
And taking one just got easier. Still ahead, the device now for sale that can help you get the best shot.
Also coming up here, more than a dozen U.S. war heroes finally getting the recognition they deserve. Why it took so long to officially thank them for their service. And here's Jack and Lisa now with a look at what we're working on for 6 o'clock tonight.
Well, Bobby and Paula, it's not just the weekend road work in the Prue Tunnel that is going to cause headaches for drivers.
Coming up new on our 6 o'clock news, John Keller shows us why the Boston area is about to see a lot more road construction that can really make traffic terrible.
And a stinging defeat for the Red Sox in spring training, but the Yankees weren't the only foes on the field.
At 6 o'clock, the unwelcome visitors who put today's game on hold.
American-owned, family-operated. Since 1829. No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling.
Don't miss the Block Toyota #1 for everyone sales event. Block Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealer in sales in New England. Drive home a brand new Toyota Corolla for only $79 per month. Come on down. That's right, lease a brand new Toyota Corolla with automatic transmission that gets an amazing 38 miles per gallon for just $79 per month.
If I put you backwards, straight to the dance floor, you'll still be waiting for me, will you still be my friend? I don't wanna bug you out with crazy ideas, for I know this ain't a good place for us to talk. You better get your move on.
shoe sale of the season.
Hey, Boston! New England's greatest hot rod tradition is back. The Town Fair Tire World of Wheel. March 28th to 30th at the Seaport World Trade Center. See America's wildest show car and meet your favorite stars, including wrestling superstar Sheamus on Friday and Shawn Michaels on Saturday. Plus, meet Rick and Kelly Dale from American Restorations on Sunday. The Town Fair Tire World of Wheels. March 28th to 30th. Discount coupons at townfairtire.com. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen. Radar. Forever providing safer journeys. The Mazda 6 uses radar in its available class-exclusive suite of 7 safety features for greater confidence behind the wheel. Introducing the Mazda 6. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda 6 Sport for $199 a month for 36 months.
In a crowd of light beers, how long does it take to find the Yingling Light Lager? About that long. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager. Rethink your light beer.
Today, President Obama awarded the nation's highest military honor to 24 veterans. All of them went above and beyond in either World War II, Korea, or Vietnam.
But 19 of them had been passed over because of their race or ethnic background. Craig Boswell has the story from the White House.
President Obama awarded the Medal of Honor to 24 previously overlooked veterans.
Some of these soldiers fought and died for a country that did not always see them as equal.
Only 3 veterans are still living. Surviving family members of the others came to the White House to mark their loved one's rightful place in American history.
I'm proud of the United States for giving me that medal.
The veterans had already been recognized for distinguishing themselves during battle, but the Pentagon determined 19 were denied the nation's highest military honor because of prejudice.
I always felt my dad was a hero.
Chewy Duran's father, Jesus, is receiving an upgraded medal for saving his company in Vietnam.
I think whatever injustices were done are kind of now taking over, and hopefully this opens up for many more people to feel the way we feel today.
Congress asked the Pentagon to review service records of Hispanic and Jewish Americans in 2002. That order was later expanded to include black service members.
Today, we have the chance to set the record straight.
Melvin Morris served 2 tours in Vietnam. Leonard M. Kravitz was a Jewish American who served in Korea. The veterans honored fought in 3 separate wars, but now share the same recognition for their sacrifice. Craig Boswell for CBS News, the White House.
Never too late to recognize that valor.
Talk about what a beautiful ceremony that is as
It
well.
always is.
Yeah.
Well, new emails and texts surfaced in the George Washington Bridge lane closure scandal.
Still ahead this evening, how a top aide to Governor Christie responded when learning of the traffic problems in the area.
Have you filled out your March Madness office bracket yet? Well, according to a new study, many office workers have. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York with that story coming up.
And sewer bills in the tens of thousands of dollars. Why a new development will cost local residents a huge amount of money.
36 years in law enforcement. He knows Boston inside and out. And now he's sharing his expertise with you. Former Police Commissioner Ed Davis joins WBZ as our exclusive security analyst. They'll require more officers, so I'm sure you'll see an increase. Insight only Ed can offer. Only on WBZ News.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. The truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Now use special Truck Month pricing to get a total value of over $7,500 on the Silverado All-Star Edition with best-in-class V8 fuel economy.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
We're all born with it. That youthful curiosity and certain sense of adventure. It doesn't matter where it takes you, only that you go. Sometimes we just forget it's there. And sometimes your best adventures begin with Scotia. Take yourself there.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee, a 2013 top IIHS safety pick.
Don't snooze. Sleepy's one-day mattress sale is tomorrow. Preview the sale today and get a silly two-piece set in any size starting at just $2.99. Choose twin, full, or queen size. It doesn't matter. You'll get them all at the same incredible low price. Plus, get free delivery on Tempur-Pedic. So shop our one-day sale tomorrow. Only at Sleepy's, the mattress professionals.
Just Sleepy's for the rest of your life.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Toyota is #1 in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you #1 with nationwide savings. Get a lowest ever $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with no cost maintenance included. Or get a #1 deal on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with 1.9 for $60. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
WBZ, proud to be your official home for the Boston Marathon.
Our top stories tonight at 5:30. 2 people killed in this fiery helicopter crash in Seattle. The chopper from ABC affiliate Como TV crashed just as it was taking off this morning. It landed on top of several cars. The pilot and photographer in that helicopter were both killed. A man on the ground suffered serious injuries.
Gunfire at a Ukrainian military facility in Crimea. Police say 2 people are dead this evening. Ukraine's prime minister blames Russia for the incident, accusing Moscow of turning the political dispute over the city and that region into a military conflict.
And something stinks in Wayland. Homeowners are getting sewer bills that they say they won't be able to pay off for years. Some residents are looking at bills in the tens of thousands of dollars.
It's hard to believe. Chief Correspondent Joe Shortslade explains what's to blame for these sky-high bills.
When you add up all the fees, we're looking at close to $55,000.
What do you owe? I owe $23,000.
That's right. About 3 dozen homeowners and just as many businesses are facing astronomical sewer bills. All has to do with the new development on Route 20 in Wayland known as Town Center. Behind the beautiful stores and modern condominiums is this $5.5 million wastewater treatment facility. Since it was built on what's known as an enterprise zone, just those people hooked up to it must pay for it all. They claim the developer in the town never explained that.
And did you know you were going to have to pay those?
Not at all.
Would you have bought the townhome?
I would have not.
Here's the problem. Wayland homeowners all have individual septic systems. They have no need for an expensive sewer system. So the whole cost of this new facility falls to about 75 users.
So your position is that all Wayland Town residents should bear the cost here?
Absolutely. They're building their police station, their fire station is on the system, the main town hall with all the offices on the system.
Business owner Jonathan Buckman says town taxpayers should absorb some of the costs because town services are tied into the new system and everyone can visit the new town center.
It's a very small group of people who have a large bill to pay.
Wayland's interim town administrator says town leaders are looking for a solution.
Hopefully we can take some action that would provide some relief. I don't know in what form, but some relief to those ratepayers.
In the meantime, those huge bills come due July 1st. Joe Shortsley, WBZ News.
And Joe, of course, we'll keep checking on this one. The developer who sold many of the Wayland condominiums told us he never knew the real cost of the sewer system and still doesn't. He says it's up to the buyer to research their municipal sewer costs. Oh, one of those pictures of weather irony. You know, things are a little bit slippery when the salt truck flips over. Early this morning, a winter storm brought ice, freezing rain to parts of North Carolina, including the Charlotte area. The slick conditions too much for this truck. Fortunately, the driver not hurt. But those salt trucks, even in North Carolina, have been very busy this year. You usually get to mid-March, and you're not looking at winter storms that far to the south. Look at even now, 30s, deep down into Virginia and parts of North Carolina. But there is a wedge of milder air, and that'll be moving our direction, so tomorrow will be warmer than what we saw today. We're in the right trend. We have clear skies tonight. There'll be plenty of moonlight across the area. Chilly temperatures, not as bad as the last couple. Teens and 20s overnight tonight. So certainly it will be a cold start tomorrow, but at least no single digits. That's a bit of improvement for us. We take a look at the weather to watch for the next few days. We're still climbing out of the deep cold. We'll feel a very spring-like day as we head toward Thursday. That's appropriate. It is the first day of spring. And a couple chances of rain and wet snow. One Wednesday night and another bout on Saturday. We'll have the timeline for that and how much snow we expect. It's coming up in a little bit. Bobby?
Okay, Eric, thank you. The Zumba prostitution scandal in Kennebunk, Maine has quietly come to an end now. Last week, the final client pleaded guilty and was fined $500. The scandal made international headlines back in 2012. Prosecutors charged Zumba instructor Alexis Wright with having sex with dozens of clients, including a former mayor and a minister. The New Jersey teenager who sued her parents just dropped her lawsuit. 18-year-old Rachel Canning sued her parents, asking for financial support and college tuition. She left home last year. Canning moved back in with her parents, though, last week.
Well, Bobby, March Madness is here. Millions will be watching the games to see if their teams win and to find out how their bracket's doing. As Jerika Duncan shows us, a new survey finds a lot of workers are filling them up.
When Louisville beat Michigan in last year's NCAA championship game, fans went crazy. But back in the office, Sarah Sefcovic wasn't smiling. The University of Michigan alum had picked her alma mater to win in the March Madness office pool at Sloan Public Relations in New York. And this year she's sticking with her school, hoping Michigan will win it all and win her the $200 pool.
Have you ever been close to winning? I've been pretty close. I've never won.
Sefcovic is among the 19% of workers who participated in March Madness office pools, according to a new survey from Career Builder. And who's most likely to enter one of these pools? Well, according to the poll, it's people here in the Northeast, young adults, managers, and workers making more than 6 figures.
I think it's a fun way to be competitive at work.
Sefcovic said she did a little research to make her picks, but the organizer of the office pool, Roger Sauerhoff,
Just wanted to make sure that you fill out this bracket.
who's also a Michigan fan, says when it comes to how people make their picks, he's seen it all.
Who has the best uniforms, who has the best name. Some people always go for their alma mater, and some people try to follow algorithm.
And as the games begin to heat up, so will the tension inside some offices. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
Oh, it can get ugly. See how your March Madness bracket stacks up against WBZ pros Steve Burton, Dan Roach, and players across the country. Take part in the CBS Local Bracket Challenge. Go to cbsboston.com to sign up, and you'll see the rules and prize information there as well.
It is a blast from the past. Coming up here on WBZ, why researchers say this 80s video game could help curb all sorts of cravings.
And it's convenient and easy, but using your personal cell phone for work can have some pitfalls. Why you might want to find out your company's policy before using your own phone on the job.
Workout World extended its $4 down sale for 8 days only. Join Workout World for just $4 down and only $10 a month with no commitment. We're going to give you more for $4. Sale ends March 25th at midnight only at Workout World.
Don't miss the Home Show, March 21st through 23rd at Patriot Place in Foxborough at the Dana-Farber Fieldhouse. Plenty of free parking. Get special deals on all your home improvement needs and so much more. This Home Show has it all. Details at newenglandhomeshows.com.
Nova Scotia. Discover what it's like to truly let yourself go. To travel on a whim across thousands of miles of unspoiled seacoast, lined with beaches waiting to be explored. Dive into some of the warmest ocean waters north of the Carolinas. Encounter friendly seaside towns full of life, but free from all the crowds. Spend afternoons savoring vineyards so beautiful they make other wine regions blush. Chart a course through sparkling waters and meet an ocean full of friends waiting to say hello. Then come alive with the night and find a rhythm that's happy to play as late as you are. Discover a vacation experience where the only thing you'll want more of is time. Freedom is a place, and it's here, Nova Scotia. Take yourself there.
Hey, hey, baby, you're the one that I love. Hey, hey, baby, you're the one that I'm always thinking of. I'm always thinking.
Introducing the all-new 2000 2014 Subaru XV Crosstrek Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient all-wheel drive hybrid crossover in America. Well equipped for only $25,995.
Winter's in full swing, and Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to J Peak with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. J Peak, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika's Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection, on Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire.
Aspen Dental, your mouth, our mission.
Workout World's extended its $4 down sale for 8 days only. Join Workout World for just $4 down and only $10 a month with no commitment. We're going to give you more for $4. Sale ends March 25th at midnight, only at Workout World.
Beep, bop, boop, boop, beep. She says switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Call or click today.
Well, since almost all of us have smartphones these days, a lot of companies are allowing their employees to use their own personal phones for work.
Some companies are even requiring it now. But as David Wade shows us this evening, like most things, this policy can come with a catch.
When Michael Irving left his job, he didn't realize that he'd be losing some memories too.
I saw just a blank screen, just like I got it originally. It had no emails, it had no text messages, no apps, nothing. It was just completely white.
Michael used his personal phone for work, and it had been wiped clean by his former employer.
There were photos of my mother with my kids. There were a lot of new phone numbers, contact information that I had gathered.
A recent survey found 38% of companies plan to require employees to use their own phones or tablets over the next 2 years. This change can save the company money, but it can also create problems when an employee gets a new job.
You can understand why the company would want to wipe the cell phone. You've got a lot of communications on there that are business-oriented, maybe company data, but unfortunately what happens is that the whole cell phone gets wiped, and now you lose everything.
There is a tool called sandboxing that would allow for a more selective wipe, but not everyone is using it.
Systems that operate in one sandbox on a device could be accessed and wiped out to preserve the secrecy and the confidentiality of the employer information while not disturbing the sandbox where the personal information of the individual is on.
Now, the only surefire way to save your personal email and your photos is to plan ahead. Make sure you download them before you quit. I'm David Wade, WBZ News.
New tonight at 11, e-cigarettes have been growing in popularity, but are they a safe alternative to tobacco or just another way to get young people hooked?
These highly flavored e-cigarettes will be very enticing to kids, and that'll be the entry point to their nicotine addiction.
The people helped and those who might be hurt by this new technology. The electronic cigarette debate, that's tonight on WBZ News at 11.
Well, up next, the mystery continues, focusing on the pilot and co-pilot of the missing Malaysia Airlines plane, why investigators say the flight was programmed to disappear.
And we continue to climb out of the Arctic basement around here. Some milder times ahead. We'll see when we might actually feel like spring outside. Coming up.
All right, Eric, as we had to break a quick look at what's hot tonight, you can check it all out on CBSBoston.com, but stay right here. We'll be right back.
ChurchedChoice.com, Massachusetts independent insurance agents, protecting the most important things in your life at the best possible price is what it's all about.
Representing the Andover companies.
TrustedChoice.com.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen. Radar, forever providing safer journeys. The Mazda 6 uses radar in its available class-exclusive suite of 7 safety features for greater confidence behind the wheel. Introducing the Mazda 6. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda 6 Sport for $199 a month for 36 months.
5 facts about Obamacare. Senator Jeanne Shaheen cast the deciding vote for Obamacare. Then over 20,000 Granite Staters saw their coverage canceled. Obamacare offers only one insurer for New Hampshire's individual market. Nearly half of our state's hospitals aren't covered. So when Shaheen says,
everyone will have the freedom to keep their health care plan if they like it.
Tell her to keep her word and work to clean up this healthcare mess.
Walking my dog is one of the things I enjoy most. But then one day, my knees gave out, and suddenly, I was the one being walked. My doctor sent me to Metro West Medical Center. Together, my doctors came up with a plan to make me better. Everyone I worked with was terrific. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists. From the day I limped in to the day I trotted out, my care was seamless. Now I'm the top dog again.
To get back on your feet, call 855-6554 or go to MoveBetterMetroWest.com.
There's only one way to really save money on carpet and hardwood flooring: buy direct. Skip the middleman. That's what National Floors Direct is all about. I saved hundreds.
At National Floors Direct, we'll beat anyone's price by 15% or it's free. Call 888-400-FLOOR for a free estimate.
We bought our MDX because we needed something big enough for all our adventures, yet stylish and sophisticated enough for our urban lifestyle. The MDX delivered on both. Not to mention great cargo space, third-row seat, and a touchscreen with text messaging. The MDX was perfect.
During the Black Tag sales event, upgrade to the all-new MDX with low lease payments or special 0.9% APR financing with a portion of the proceeds helping to support Boston Children's Hospital. Learn more online at neaccudealers.com.
TrustedChoice.com. Massachusetts independent insurance agents, protecting the most important things in your life at the best possible price is what it's all about.
Representing the Andover companies.
TrustedChoice.com.
This is the Name Your Price tool. It gives you options based on your budget. It's a piece of cake.
I was told there would be cake. Get a free quote at Progressive.com.
CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by Buick. Some wild video tonight from Iowa. A close call from one state trooper. Look here, the trooper's parked on the shoulder of I-80 when a utility truck came out of nowhere. You're about to see this happen. There it is. Wow, a semi-truck hit it from behind, sending it airborne. The trooper's cruiser was hit, but the trooper was not hurt. Law enforcement says this video should serve as a reminder to slow down when you see emergency crews parked along the side of the road. There's now a lawsuit in connection with last week's deadly gas leak and building explosion in New York City. A woman sued the power company, Con Edison. She said that she suffered severe and permanent injuries when the blast caused her to fall in her apartment more than a block away. The explosion killed 8 people and leveled 2 buildings.
Tonight, there is even more evidence that the pilot or co-pilot of the missing Malaysian Airlines plane may have played a critical role in that jet's disappearance. U.S. officials say a computer system had been pre-programmed to turn the plane off course. Seth Doan is in Kuala Lumpur.
That report in the New York Times citing U.S. officials raised the possibility that the planes turned west might have been pre-entered into an onboard computer, possibly even before the plane took off. Was the plane's path, a westward direction, programmed into the aircraft's flight management system?
As far as we're concerned, the aircraft was programmed to fly to Beijing.
Is it plausible? Is it something you're considering?
Once you're in the aircraft, anything is possible.
One of the other issues raised in the press briefing was that this is not just a massive logistical effort, but is also a massive diplomatic effort too, as so many more countries have gotten involved in this search. We spoke with one of the pilot's friends earlier today who told us that the stress is mounting.
We want answers.
If this is what I'm going through, imagine your families.
In China, family members of passengers have demanded answers and said that they were threatening a hunger strike if Malaysian authorities didn't get them answers soon. Meanwhile, China has said it will deploy 21 satellites to help refine the search. Seth Doan, CBS News, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Chinese officials say they've checked the backgrounds of all its citizens on board and found no links to terrorism. 26 countries are now involved in the search for the plane.
Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is here with a look at our forecast. You know, we're looking for the positives. It was sunny outside today.
That's right.
And it's a good start. It's a little bit above freezing right now.
What we call ineffective sunshine.
When you've got the sun and there's not a lot of wind, it just doesn't matter. It can be 10 degrees, it can be 50 degrees. It feels good.
Yeah,
I hope.
It does.
Well, great day for snowmobiling. I had one of our friends from Twitter, Adam, send us one in. Snowmobiling around Mount Washington. Plenty of snow up there around the White Mountains. And a bluebird day. We were fortunate enough to have the day off. Great conditions out there. Today's temperatures weren't actually anywhere near records or anything like that, but we're running a good 10 degrees below average in the Boston area. There are some milder temps that are in the middle part of the country. We see the near 60-degree reading there in St. Louis, 82 in Dallas. Sounds pretty nice. And all this will be shifting off toward the northeast as we head into the day tomorrow. So tomorrow even warmer than what we saw today. We're at the freezing mark in Boston currently, 36 in Worcester. You can have some 40s out toward the Berkshires this evening. So it's a little bit of tropical paradise compared to the last couple of days. Low temperatures tonight, we're looking at teens and 20s. Finally a night with no single digits, certainly no sub-zero numbers. Should feel a little bit better, but certainly a chilly start to the day tomorrow. The next storm system that we're watching after the clear skies tonight is this one across the Midwest. And that will be moving in as we head by tomorrow afternoon and evening and bring with it some clouds and eventually some rain and some snow. So tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., we're in the teens and 20s across the region. By lunch, the clouds are starting to develop, and as we head through the afternoon, they'll thicken up. I think by the evening commute, mainly overcast skies as they move in from the west. Temperatures, 30s to low 40s for tomorrow afternoon. Overall, a little bit more improvement in the temperature department. And by 9 o'clock, we're looking at some rain and snow mix. The best chance of snow here across the Route 2 corridor and into southern New Hampshire. That line will be creeping its way a little bit northward overnight. I think it's wet flakes. There won't be a lot of accumulation with that, but just a sign that winter's not done yet. Everyone else looking at the rain showers, and those will linger until Thursday morning. I think by morning commute time, a lot of that should be done. We'll start with the clouds. We'll end brighter skies for the first day of spring. In terms of total snow, according to an inch from Worcester northward, and then 1 to 3 inches here across much of New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Not a major event, but maybe a few folks will have to shove a little snow out of the way. Then as we head toward Thursday afternoon, brisk southwesterly flow, that's going to bump up our temperatures into the 50s. We stay windy into the day on Friday. A dry end to the week, we'll be looking at temperatures just a touch cooler back into the 40s. I really want you to enjoy these next couple of days because as we head towards Sunday and into Monday and Tuesday, another big cold blast is coming at 10 to 25 degrees below average in terms of temperature. Plus, as we head into next week, an increased storminess potential here off the East Coast. It's still a long way off, but something we're watching. And certainly we're not out of the woods when it comes to some additional snow potential here heading through the end of March. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. We've got the low 40s tomorrow, the 50s on Thursday. The equinox takes place at 12:57. It'll be a gusty and seasonable Friday. Temperatures in the 40s. There'll be a batch of rain and some wet snow that moves through on Saturday. I don't think that's going to be a big weather story, but there will be some flakes, especially into New Hampshire, and then the cold air for next week. Our schoolyard shout out for today about the Miller School in Westford. Barry went out there for a visit. Lots of kids in their St. Patrick's Day garb. You can tell when exactly this visit took place. Back on Monday, of course. We'll cheer there.
Oh, boy. Sometimes there's always that one more snowstorm in March.
I feel it. I feel it this year. It's been a rough winter. We're going to put the cherry on top, and then we're done.
And then get to April. Eric, thank you. Well, tonight, new emails about the Bridgegate scandal in New Jersey. They show that Governor Christie's campaign manager was kept informed of complaints over traffic backups the bridge closures caused. In one exchange, that campaign manager told a top appointee at the bridge agency, quote, "You did great." Governor Christie has maintained that he did not know about the lane closings that caused big problems on the George Washington Bridge.
Harvard professor, senator, and now author Elizabeth Warren has written a book. The publisher says the book, entitled A Fighting Chance, looks at the conflicts between large institutions and the needs of everyday citizens. It talks about everything from Warren's roots in Oklahoma to her work in the Senate, and it will be in bookstores next month.
The Obama administration says about 5 million people have now signed up for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. The president set a goal of 6 million people to sign up by the end of this month. March 31st is the last day to enroll for a subsidized health plan through the new website.
I bet you've never heard this one before. Having a craving? Get rid of it with Tetris. Researchers say playing a game of the popular 80s video game can help eliminate cravings for food, cigarettes, even drugs. They say the shape of Tetris blocks are so engaging, players don't think about their cravings anymore. Also, the game is so demanding, people feel as though they have to wait for the right moment to quit. If that moment is now, know, you can get rid of your old games like Tetris at Walmart. Starting next week, you can trade in used video games at the retail giant. You won't get cash, but you will receive a credit for Walmart or Sam's Clubs that can be used in stores or online. And you know, when you go to take a selfie like Ellen DeGeneres, it feels like your arm just isn't going to be long enough. Here's the device that can help. It snaps on your iPhone and acts like an arm extension. Some selfie sticks, as they're called, even include Bluetooth to control the phone or timer delays, and you can find them online for about $18 each.
They're just something we don't need. The selfie's out of control.
You don't have a lot of problems when what you need is a selfie stick.
Exactly, although I would like to have thought of that.
It's true.
Whoever did that's going to make some money.
They will.
Well, straight ahead, right place at the right time.
A couple saw a child in danger and rushed into action. What they have to say about the dramatic rescue. Now, let's check in with Jack and Lisa. They have a look at what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
Paula, Bobby, thank you very much. Missing for nearly 6 months now. What in the world happened to New Hampshire teenager Abby Hernandez?
Next at 6, who is making a new public plea to bring this girl home safe?
Well, it looks like those heating bills won't be going down anytime soon.
Nope, next at 6 o'clock, but help on the way now for people who are struggling to get by.
This week, don't miss the most exciting event in college basketball. Who will be stopped and who will be unstoppable? Catch all the game day action on WBZ. Sponsored locally by Nasacort Allergy 24 Hours. Stops more of what makes you miserable.
The most effective class of treatment for nasal allergies are 24-hour prescription nasal sprays. And now, one's available without one. New Nasacort. It relieves your worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
A lot goes into making Bosco's authentic Greek yogurt without a lot going into it. Farm fresh milk and fruit picked right from the orchard. In fact, one healthy taste is all it takes to love Bosco's. A lot. Happiness in every spoonful. Bosco's Greek yogurt.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Now we're making you #1 with savings. Get a $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive Venza with no cost maintenance included. Hurry, it ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Boston! New England's greatest hot rod tradition is back. The Town Fair Tire World of Wheels. March 28th to 30th at the Seaport World Trade Center. See America's wildest show car and meet your favorite stars, including wrestling superstar Sheamus on Friday and Shawn Michaels on Saturday. Plus, meet Rick and Kelly Dale from American Restorations on Sunday. The Town Fair Tire World of Wheels. March 28th to 30th. Discount coupons at townfairtire.com. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series.
Beep, boop, boop, beep.
She says switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds.
Call or click today.
Boy, a fast-thinking couple in Southern California may have saved a child's life.
Sounds like they did. They were moving out of their apartment when they saw a toddler hanging out of a window. The couple rushed into action, moving their mattress and box spring under the window. Conrad Leitner then managed to break the little boy's fall and then keep him on the mattress until emergency crews could arrive there.
He was started crying because he understood that what a bad choice he made, and so I was getting ready because I know he couldn't get back to the window, and he fell, and I caught him and tried to slow his impact.
Very surreal afterwards. We were just moving the rest of the day, and every once in a while we'd look at each other and just be like, oh, that happened. Like, that was real.
Saw that was an alleyway, so hard pavement there below. The 3-year-old went to the hospital, but did not have any major injuries.
Lucky that they were there just at that moment. Well, stay with us. We have much more news still ahead.
The news at 6 starts right now.
A botched arson. Police arrest a man they say tried to burn down a historic building.
A TV news helicopter crashes in Seattle. And it's the same chopper used to cover news here in Boston for a decade.
Have you had it with the maze of traffic clogging road and bridge work around here? I'll tell you why there's much more to come. 2 shots at snow this week in parts of our area, plus high temperatures above 50 degrees, the latest on our ups and downs of this March weather.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
Caught on camera, a man trying to set an historic building on fire until a security guard managed to take him down. Now, no one can explain why in the world he tried to do it. I'm Jack Woody.
I'm Lisa Hughes. Police say the man walked in, sprayed some sort of liquid, and tried to ignite it. This happened at the Grand Lodge of Masons in downtown Boston, right on the corner of Tremont and Boylston Streets, across from Boston Common. And as Paul Burton shows us, the security guard stopped the man before he could do any real damage.
Accused of attempting to burn down the Grand Lodge Masonic building in Boston, 31-year-old Kevin Jones of Dorchester faced a judge today. Prosecutors say on Monday night, surveillance cameras caught Jones walking into the Masonic Lodge. He asked if he could use the lobby. The security guard says it was closed for the evening. That's when Jones leaves, but moments later he returns with lighter fluid.
And he came in over here, sprayed the couches, and then tried to ignite them.
Robert Jolly says that's when the security guard tackles Jones to the ground.
Tackled him and brought him down on the floor and held him down while our other individual called 911.
In Boston Municipal Court, Jones was charged with attempting to burn down a building and attempting to destroy a place of worship. But a court physician said Jones is dealing with serious mental health issues.
Giving a real reason to believe that we're dealing with a serious mental illness, Judge.
Outside of court, friends say Jones is going through a very difficult time.
He has a good heart and he's a good-natured person. I don't know what to make of the situation, so, until I learn more, I really can't say.
Jones was held on $10,000 cash bail and has been sent to Bridgewater State Hospital for a 20-day evaluation. As for the historic Grand Lodge building built in 1898, Jolly says they're grateful for the security guard and his heroic effort.
The security guard acted very quickly and prevented something from escalating even further. If this burned to the ground, that we could ever build another facility like this. It's really very beautiful, very unique.
In Boston, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
Well, let's get to the weather. The sun helped warm things up today, but boy, we're still far from the spring weather we're all looking forward to. Our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, joins us now with the AccuWeather forecast. Eric?
Hey there, Jack. Good evening, everybody. Some signs of spring, at least. Now, Judith sent this picture in today from Carver. I thought that was a little bit of positive thinking. Got a couple bulbs that are just trying to poke out of the ground. They're not going to accelerate out of the ground too quickly here over the next few days. Some warmer air, yes, but full-blown spring, probably not going to happen. We've got clear skies tonight, a lot of starlight, a lot of moonlight. It'll be quiet and cold. Temperatures back in the teens and 20s. No major weather issues as we enter the overnight hours or into the start of tomorrow morning. We look forward to the rest of this week, and we are continuing our warming trend. Around 40 tomorrow, 50s on Thursday, and 40s on Friday. I really want you to enjoy these next few days because we have another batch of Arctic air on the way, plus a couple chances of snow that are mixed into this forecast. We'll talk about the timing for those, how much we expect coming up in about 10 minutes. Jack?
Thank you, Eric. In Seattle tonight, the Space Needle and a number of nearby attractions are closed after a deadly crash involving a news helicopter. 2 people are dead, a third person badly injured. Kate Merrill joins us now with some late details. Kate.
Jack, the pilot and the news photographer were killed when that copter went down after taking off from the station's helipad. It came onto the street below just before 8 a.m., landing on cars and causing a massive fire. The aftermath was caught on home video. The thick black smoke could be seen for miles during the morning rush hour. A man inside a car was badly burned, but he was able to escape. People on the ground saw the station helicopter struggling to stay in the air.
When he went to take back off, the side of the helicopter changed kind of drastically, and I looked, and the helicopter was almost immediately pitched sideways and off balance, and he kind of just nose dove over the trees and clipped the top of the trees and crashed us on the other side of the street there.
Now, the FAA has confirmed the copter was the same one that WBZ-TV shared with WFXT. It was used in Boston for 10 years, as recently as November, before it went to Detroit, where it was supposed to be used as a backup. This helicopter was being used in Seattle while the station's regular helicopter was in the shop. Both the FAA and the NTSB are now investigating. Station officials say the copter may have hit the side of the building when taking off from its roof helipad. Lisa, back to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. Well, this was a wild crash in Melrose. A car drove through a fence and right into the high school's parking lot. Damaged 8 cars. Police say an elderly woman was behind the wheel. She was leaving a friend's apartment across the street when something went wrong, and she says the car took off. The woman was not badly hurt. She did go to the hospital as a precaution, and all the cars she hit were empty. One of the teachers whose car was damaged said this could have been a lot worse.
It was at 7:30 in the morning. 100 kids would have been walking down that street, and teachers would have been getting in and out of their cars to come to school. So thank goodness it was 9:30 and not 7:30, or who knows what would have happened.
Well, police aren't sure exactly what happened, but they say the car did not appear to have any mechanical problems.
The friends of that missing New Hampshire teenager are pleading with their friend to come home.
Dear Abby, I cannot tell you enough how much you are missed. I know you probably have heard at some point that you are missed, but I don't think it can be described, the missing that goes on.
That video features friends of Abby Hernandez talking about the good times in their past. It's been posted on the website bringabbyhome.com. You might remember Hernandez disappeared from her hometown of Conway, New Hampshire back in October. It was just a few days before her 15th birthday. She did send her mother a letter about a month later, but since then, no trace of her.
Well, if you're driving into Boston over the next few weekends, avoid the Mass Pike or pack your patience. The state is removing the ceiling in the Prudential Tunnel, so the pike is going to be shut down to one lane in both directions over 4 weekends in the next month and a half. And that's just one of hundreds of road and bridge repair projects across the state this year. New at 6, John Kelly has more on why we're seeing so much road work and the toll it's taken on people caught in the middle. John?
Oh, Lisa, Jack, for the current orgy of repair work, you can thank the Big Dig, the cash-eating mega project that pushed maintenance and repair of local roads to the back of the line for more than 15 years. And while it won't be easy for any of us to avoid the annoying traffic jams that lie ahead, for some, the picture is even bleaker.
We know a healthy economy needs reliable and robust infrastructure system.
And Frank DePaola's State Highway Department is forging ahead with hundreds of repair projects as they try to dig out from under the disrepair the Big Dig left behind. We all hear about the big ones like the Callahan Tunnel and the disruption they cause. But as folks in and around Mattapan's Morton Street Bridge spanning the commuter rail tracks can attest, those logistical problems may be coming to your neighborhood soon.
As you can see, this bridge needs help. Yet another casualty of years of Big Dig-related neglect. But for the people who live here, run businesses here, and commute through here, the fix has consequences.
And we sell Haitian music, a lot of art.
But the bridge work has cut this merchant's business by more than half.
The clients cannot find parking. One morning I came, I parked my car at the corner. I got a ticket for $75.
You got a ticket?
I got a ticket, and I had to pay.
Paul Brown's father founded this tailor shop nearly 40 years ago, but the project outside his door has left him struggling.
I have a lot of older customers, and I have to run out now around the corner and take care of them, try to do my best to help them.
They have to do it, they have to do it. Maybe it might make life better for other people, so, you know, projects are good, usually.
Yeah, usually. Now, according to Frank DePaola, the $1 billion plus in repair work on tap for this year includes a final round of Tobin Bridge painting, I-93 resurfacing from the Zachem Bridge out to Stoneham, and major road projects in Cambridge, Everett, Malden, Revere, Somerville, and Quincy, just to name a few. What about your neighborhood? Go to cbsboston.com for a link to the complete list on the Mass DOT website. Jack, back to you.
And John, on top of that, the Sumner Tunnel will shut down tonight from 10 until 2 for a drill. State Police, Boston Fire, EMS, and other emergency responders will practice a scenario where there is a fire in the tunnel and fire responders lose communications. Well, this will take our mind off all that. Another chance for lottery players to dream big. Tonight's Mega Millions prize worth $400 million. Third biggest Mega Millions jackpot of all time. Yes, sirree, we'll have the numbers for you. Hopefully a local winner. BZ News at 11.
Coming up here on WBZ News, heating your home. It is costing a lot more this year, but for some people, help is on the way.
Also ahead tonight, a swarm of trouble for the Red Sox today. The invaders who forced the Sox and the Yankees to put their spring training matchup on hold.
Frozen out, the Duck Tours weather their first ever opening day delay. And that's not the only business struggling through this cold.
Probably not going to be one to ride around outside as we get toward next week either. More cold in the forecast. But before we get there, the 50s. We've got the timing for that coming up.
DCU free checking. Monthly fees? 0. Minimum balance required? 0. Online bill payer? 0. Compared to your checking account, you have 0 reasons not to switch.
It's award season. These awards are coveted by the entertainment industry. Well, the Chrysler Town & Country with an entertainment system and luxurious interior is coveted by, well, everyone. While awards recognize supporting roles, this plays the ultimate supporting role for your family. The Chrysler Town & Country. See it now at the Chrysler Award Season event.
Get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Town & Country Touring for $229 a month for well-qualified lessees.
In your own backyard, your incredible state university system, 9 institutions, 300 academic programs, more than 50,000 students, 10,000 degrees awarded annually. In the past 5 years, 5,000 science and technology degrees, 4,000 healthcare degrees, 11,000 teaching degrees. 84% of graduates stay in Massachusetts, building the innovation economy for tomorrow's Commonwealth, for tomorrow's you.
Get ready. Wherever spring finds you, a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive can help you enjoy it. Get ready for spring in a brand new Subaru Outback. Awarded Top Safety Pick Plus by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Drive home a brand new Subaru Outback. Well equipped for only $23,795. Plus, get 0% financing for up to 36 months. Get a great deal and go love spring.
Introducing the all-new iComfort sleep system, now available at Bernie & Phil's Furniture. iComfort features Serta's breakthrough cool action dual effects gel memory foam, outstanding pressure relief, and support where you need it most.
iComfort at Bernie & Phil's.
A better night's sleep and a little extra. Purchase iComfort this week and get up to a $300 Bernie & Phil's gift card free. Find your best sleep at Bernie & Phil's.
Bernie & Phil, quality, comfort, and price. That's nice.
Hey, Steve, those my lights?
When you get a new Buick, you want to show it off. You're invited to the Buick Open House event, where for the first time, select 2014 Buick models are specially priced, so you can get thousands off MSRP. Current non-GM owners use your special value pricing to lease this 2014 Verano for around $199 per month. Find your dealer at BuickDealer.com.
DCU home mortgage rates are at historic lows, and we also try to make the whole process easier, so you'll have fewer things standing between you and the home you're dreaming of. Get pre-approved now at DCU.org.
A man who carjacked and killed 3 people will go on trial again to see if he deserves the death penalty. Gary Lee Sampson has already been sentenced to die once, but that verdict was overturned on appeal. So the case will be retried in February of 2015. Sampson actually confessed to killing 3 men, 69-year-old Philip McCloskey of Taunton, 19-year-old Jonathan Rizzo of Kingston, and 58-year-old Robert Whitney of Meredith, New Hampshire.
Dozens of homeowners and business owners in Wayland are facing astronomically high sewer bills, and they say they were never warned about it. A new condo and retail development known as Town Center has its own waste treatment facility. It was built in an enterprise zone, meaning just those people hooked up must pay for the whole thing. Well, the people who were hit with a huge bill say the developer in town never explained that.
They had no idea that they were going to be facing betterment charges anywhere around $23,000 per unit.
I think it's very high, and it was completely unexpected when we moved in. We had no idea that we would be given betterment charges.
Well, roughly 75 people will pay for the entire project. They want the town to pitch in. Wayland says it's going to look for a solution if it can.
The state's now helping some homeowners who are struggling to pay their heating bills. Lawmakers have approved $20 million in heating aid for low-income residents. And for the first time in 3 years, federal assistance has run out. That's the kind of winter it's been. So the state is stepping in to help. The average household is paying $300 more for heat this winter.
Well, I got a slight respite today. It goes to show you how, I think, we're getting used to the cold because 32 degrees felt balmy.
I was going to say, clearly all things are relative because, Eric, I actually cracked the window a bit when I was...
I'm with you. I had the sunroof open in my car today, driving around. 32 degrees never felt so good. That was the high in Boston today. The average high is 46 this time of year, so way below the average. Nowhere near the records, though, for this particular day. It's just been cold. We know the story by now. In fact, so cold, at least through 17 days in Worcester, on pace for the coldest winter, or coldest March, I should say, ever recorded. Average temperature at 25.8. Got a couple of weeks to go about, and we'll see how things end up before all said and done. That's pretty exceptional cold we're talking about. 31 right now in the city of Boston, 36 in Worcester. Actually a little warmer there. Well, sea breeze has kept things rather cold near the coast. That's how cold the water is. Climatologically, this is as cold as it gets, and with a winter like we've seen, well, the coldest that water's been in a long time. There's some milder air that's back toward the Ohio Valley, and that's going to try to creep toward us tomorrow. And so we're on the mend. Warmer temperatures we head into tomorrow, warmer still as we head into Thursday. And even tonight, no single digits on the map. That is an improvement. Teens and 20s for overnight lows. Clear skies, lots of moonlight. The next weather system that we're watching, this one right in here, thin band of snow. This has actually produced up to a foot of snowfall across parts of Minnesota and into Wisconsin. Won't create that much snow around here, but there will be some flakes. So tomorrow morning, it is clear, it's cold, we'll have plenty of sunshine, and actually it's still very nice as we head toward midday, 30s to around 40 degrees. But as we head through the afternoon, the cloud cover will thicken up. I think by the evening, it's mainly overcast. And then as we head past the commute, some rain and snow showers start to move in. The best chance for the flakes will be north of the Pike, especially in the Worcester Hills and working up into southern New Hampshire. Don't think it's going to be a major deal because you notice these temperatures above freezing, but there will be some flakes falling, and of course, a reminder that winter is not really done yet. It's all rain from the Boston area south and east with this particular one, and as we head toward Thursday morning, that rain line actually progresses up into southern New Hampshire, and we'll just have clouds to kick off the first day of spring. Then we'll clear out, and the temperatures warm up. Total snow from Worcester northward, you get about coating to an inch, 1 to 3 possible around, say, Littleton area, Westford, and working up into southern New Hampshire. Not going to be a big event, but a few folks may have to shovel just a little bit. Behind the system, it's not a big cold air outbreak, it's fairly mild air. So gusty winds out of the southwest as we head into Thursday. That'll boost our temperatures up into the 50s. More wind expected on Friday, but a lot of sunshine, and average temperatures, average feeling pretty good. Now, once we head into the weekend, here we go all over again. This is a pretty familiar setup, especially on Sunday and into Monday and Tuesday. A big dip in the jet stream, lots of cold, well below average temperatures. Plus, as we head into next week, an increased potential of storminess along the East Coast, and that's something we'll have to watch as we head toward the Tuesday and Wednesday time frame. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, all told, a pretty nice day. On Thursday, the 50s, the equinox takes place at 12:57. Pretty decent Friday, too, but as we head toward the weekend, a little bit of rain and snow moves through on Saturday. I don't think we'll see any big accumulation around here, and then it's all about the cold Sunday into next week. Jack, Lisa, back to you.
All right, no break, Eric. And for the first time ever on that note, Boston Spec Tours have had to actually put a season on hold.
As Bill Shields shows us, that's not the only business looking to try to get through to spring.
Is it just me, or does this winter seem really long? No one expects it to be 80 degrees in March, but we're still wearing wool hats, or we have our hoods pulled up. Heck, it's even warmer in Ireland, in Donegal.
I'm not staying, I'm heading home.
Well, is it warmer in Ireland?
When I left, it was warm. When I left, it was warmer in Ireland, certainly.
Boston's famed duck boats are cleaned up, but no place to go. Charles River still has too much ice on it, so they're landlocked.
All we keep seeing is cold and no ducks, so it's that time of year. You never know what to expect, but we've never had a season this delayed, or delayed at all for that matter.
In Boston Pedicab, even their toughest riders have had it hard this winter. Some are willing to pedal, but the customers want a warm cab. Now they're just hoping April warms up by opening day.
But April can be iffy, and we're just excited about the season coming and hoping it'll all work out.
And those infamous lines for the duck boat tours? No problem right now. Take your pick. But this company, like many others, is losing business to this harsh winter.
It's infuriating. I can't believe there's still ice in the Charles River, and we're almost at the end of March.
So they're optimistic that they'll get some of the duck boats on the road and in the water by Friday, but I hope they haven't looked at the long-range forecast for next week. More Arctic cold. In Dorchester, I'm Bill Shields, WBZ News. Back to you guys.
And to be able to go in for a couple days and then to have to keep them out again, it's just no way to start the season.
No, they got to look, I think, for a little inspiration. I'd say go to a Bruins game.
Yep.
That's right, as long as those duck boats are ready for the parade. That's all.
Sounds like it.
There. Bruins, they are gunning for their 10th straight win tonight when they take on the Devils in New Jersey. It would tie the longest winning streak in the NHL this season. The Bees have a 5-point lead over Pittsburgh for the top spot in the East. Last night, the Bruins got their 9th win in a row, beating the Minnesota Wild at the Garden 4-1. Jerome McGinley scored 2 goals for the 2nd game in a row. Iggy now has 25 on the season and 555 for his career. Louis Erickson and Riley Smith also put the puck in the net. Red Sox and Yankees spring training action in Tampa today. A bizarre scene in the 3rd inning. The game was delayed for 7 minutes because of a swarm of bees who were hanging out in left field. Mike Carter's like, I'm all set with that. No, please. And after the grounds crew took care of the business, the very first pitch, Francisco Cervelli hits a shot to left field where the bees were hanging out. And he got a trip. Now, if I was playing in left field, Cervelli would have an inside the park home run because there's no way I'm going for the baseball. Sox lose it by a score of 8-1. In big news out of Boston College today, the school fired men's head basketball coach Steve Donahue. This coming after reports came out last Friday that said he'd be back next season. Donahue spent 4 disappointing seasons at BC. Under his watch, the Eagles had a 54-76 record and never made the NCAA tourney. They were just 8-24 this year. BC Athletic Director Brad Bates said he's not looking for just a big-name coach. He's going to hire the right guy.
Well, I don't think you need the splash. I'm not interested in a short-term enthusiasm at the expense of long-term substance. You need to hire whoever's going to best fit what the program needs at this moment in time.
Well, to the NCAA basketball tournament, Harvard is the 12th seed in the East region. The Crimson will take on 5th-seeded Cincinnati in Spokane, Washington, Thursday afternoon at 2:10. UMass is the 6th seed in the Midwest. They'll face the winner of tomorrow night's first-round matchup between Iowa and Tennessee. You can see the Minutemen play right here at WBZ Friday afternoon at 2:45. And our tournament coverage here on WBZ begins on Thursday. Ohio State and Dayton kick things off at 12:15, followed by Syracuse and Western Michigan. And then looking ahead to Thursday night, we'll have Michigan taking on Wofford, followed by Texas and Arizona State right here on WBZ. To football, more details are coming out about Julian Edelman's new contract with the Patriots. This morning on WAAF, the Pats wideout said it's a 4-year deal. Multiple reports have it being worth $17 million, with $8 million guaranteed. Edelman told WAAF this morning he's happy to be sticking around.
Being in New England for the last 5 years, that's just home. That's just home for me right now, and just the way, the mentality of the team, how everything's done, the scheme, the players, the locker room, the fans. It's something that I couldn't leave, and I'm really glad that we were able to work something out.
Celtics and Mavericks in Dallas last night. The Green were down by 15 in the second half, fought their way back. Avery Bradley with the steal and the dunk. That made it a 1-point game with 21 seconds to play. Jared Bayless got hot late, led the C's with 19 points, but with time running down, he couldn't get the hoop or the foul. Celtics fall 94-89, their 5th straight loss.
Where were the bees last night?
I know, that's
Bring in the bees.
Good point. Good point. It's good to have Julian Edelman back with the Pats.
I think most fans like him.
Yes,
Don't you?
They do. They also like Vince Wilfork, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to him.
We haven't heard much about Vince, have you? Must be hiding from us. Tough man to hide. Thank you.
Coming up next on WBZ News, the priceless works of art at the Gardner Museum now, just a mouse click away.
America's spying on its own people in direct violation of our Constitution. What if the machines built to keep us safe,
mass surveillance,
you think the machines can help you, Coach Bullets, fell into the wrong hands?
The second machine.
3 times faster than anything now available.
Do you really want to see what it looks like when 2 gods go to war?
A new person of interest. CBS Tonight. Catch up online or on demand.
Sunbrella is the most cleanable fabric we've ever offered. In my opinion, it's the most durable upholstery fabric in the world. And it comes in hundreds of styles and colors, resists stains and fading. You can even clean it with bleach, and it's only at Jordan's.
You love skiing and skateboarding.
So Youngtime Sims combined them, creating a whole new way down the mountain. Uncompromising creativity. It's also how Mazda made a crossover that combines nimble handling with outstanding fuel efficiency. This is the Mazda CX-5. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda CX-5 Sport for $229 a month for 36 months.
March into winning at Foxwoods Resort Casino. On March 23rd, we're giving away a Jeep Sahara with a Sea-Doo jet ski and trailer. And 4 winners will receive $1,000 bonus slot play, all guaranteed. Catch winning entertainment with stars like Jay Moore, Don Omar, and Miley Cyrus. You won't want to miss Drunken Palette, Friday, March 21st and 28th at our new lounge, The Box. Meet up with friends and enjoy a cocktail and live DJ every Saturday night at Foxwoods Resort Casino.
If I put you backwards, straight to the dance floor, will you still be waiting for me? Will you still be my friend? I don't wanna bug you out with crazy, crazy ideas, for I know this ain't a good place for us to talk. You better get your moves on. You better keep on.
Buy more, save more. Don't miss Lord & Taylor's biggest shoe sale of the season.
We bought our MDX because we needed something big enough for all our adventures, yet stylish and sophisticated enough for our urban lifestyle. The MDX delivered on both. Not to mention great cargo space, third-row seat, and a touchscreen with text messaging. The MDX was perfect.
During the Black Tag sales event, upgrade to the all-new MDX with low lease payments or special 0.9% APR financing with a portion of the proceeds helping to support Boston Children's Hospital. Learn more online at neaccuradealers.com.
Right now at Jordan's, with any Sunbrella sofa or sectional, you'll get a free spring cleaning from our friends the Maids. The industry leader, voted Best of Boston from Boston Magazine. It's a $400 value, yours free. Sofas start at just $7.99.
The META is standing by its decision to pick a French company to run the commuter rail. The T has rejected an appeal by the current operator, Mass Bay Commuter Railroad. Mass Bay argued the new operator, Colas, wasn't qualified, didn't submit the required safety plans. Mass Bay can file another appeal. It is already asking a court to block that new contract.
This is a treasure. You'll now be able to visit the Gardner Museum without even leaving your home. The museum just joined the Google Art Project, which means you'll be able to go online and take a virtual tour of the Gardner. Google took pictures of all the art, used a special robot to create 360-degree views of the museum. And by the way, the MFA already part of this project, although if you don't go to the Gardner, you don't get to eat lunch there, which is one other reason to go.
Beautiful, and it's a little gem most people haven't been to.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
We'll be right back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Honda. Start something special with great leases and low financing on a new Honda. Visit shophonda.com or visit your local Honda dealer.
When you're looking for American-made quality in a bed,
it has to be Bernie and Phil's.
And right now, we'll pay your tax and we'll pay for your delivery. From our floor to your door, not one penny more.
Don't miss the Bach Honda Spring into a Honda sales event at one of our 2 great locations. Bach Honda on the Auto Mile, Route 1 in Norwood, or Bach Honda West on Littleton Road in Westford, Mass. Drive home a brand new Honda Civic for just $39 per month. That's right, lease a brand new Honda Civic for just $39 per month. 2 great Bach Honda locations, 1 legendary low Bach Honda price.
Don't miss the Home Show, March 21st through 23rd at Patriot Place in Foxborough at the Dana-Farber Fieldhouse. Plenty of free parking. Get special deals on all your home improvement needs and so much more. This Home Show has it all. Details at NewEnglandHomeShows.com.
I commute to work. I spend a lot of time in my car. I rely on AAA. Whenever I've called for help, they're there. I use AAA for everything to do with my car. To finance it, to insure it, fix it, even a battery when and wherever I need it. And as a AAA member, I have access to a whole network of savings at places I shop all the time, even online. And that saves time.
Call 1-800-JOIN-AAA or join at AAA.com. Membership for life.
5 facts about Obamacare. Senator Jeanne Shaheen cast the deciding vote for Obamacare. Then over 20,000 Granite Staters saw their coverage canceled. Obamacare offers only one insurer for New Hampshire's individual market. Nearly half of our state's hospitals aren't covered. So when Shaheen says,
everyone will have the freedom to keep their health care plan if they like it.
Tell her to keep her word and work to clean up this healthcare mess.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Toyota is #1 in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you #1 with nationwide savings. Get a #1 Prius C lease for a lowest ever $97 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or current Toyota owners can get 0 for 60 plus $12.50 bonus cash on a Prius liftback. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
When you're looking for American-made quality in a bed,
It has to be Bernie and Phil's.
and right now, we'll pay your tax and we'll pay for your delivery. From our floor to your door, not 1 penny more.
Coming up tonight here on WBZ News at 11, the growing debate over e-cigarettes, a healthier option for smokers or just the latest way to get young people hooked. There's no question e-cigarettes are becoming a lot more popular, but are they really a safer alternative? Find out tonight on WBZ News at 11. And before we go, at least there's a little warm-up in our forecast.
Yeah, next few days, feeling pretty good outside. This is the best stretch that we're going to get for a little while, so enjoy. We've got the low 40s tomorrow. There'll be some rain and snow tomorrow night. The snow, not a major impact. 50s for the first day of spring, and the 40s on Friday. It's next week. It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're back in.
Good thing the bar's low.
It is. I mean, it won't hurt as much. We've already seen it.
Hey, we got a busy night ahead of us. Join us at 11 o'clock. We'll let you know what's going on out there.